Welcome to Season 4 of She Lancer, Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. I'm your host, Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and this podcast are the audio versions of my live Q&A chats on YouTube. If you'd like to be part of the live Q&A chats, come on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. I'm live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. EST. We talk about voiceover, the business of voiceover, audiobooks, and so much more. Find more information on my website, voiceoverangela.com. Enjoy today's episode. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Got your coffee? I got my coffee. Hopefully somebody will come in late and bring us some donuts with our coffee. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you again for joining me for another live Q&A community chat here on my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. I am a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel is dedicated to those of you just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you tips, tricks, techniques, things that I discover on accident most of the time in my own voiceover business. And then we get together in these weekly chats to talk about a topic or 2 or 3 or 10. We'll just see how it goes. If you're not new here, then you know that every week we have a new poll that's usually, we try to make it the topic of the day, but again, we'll see how it goes. So this week we're talking again about email marketing. You're like, Angela, we just talked about this not too long ago. Why are we talking about this again? Well, I'll tell you. Because I think the majority of us, we forget that we're not limited to platforms. That we think, especially in the beginning, right? We're like, okay, so what platforms do I need to be on? What's a pay to play? What's ACX? What are all these things? I need to be there. I need to get on there. And then we focus on getting our profiles and all these things. And once we have our profiles set up on all of these different platforms, we just sit back, cross our arms, and wait for the money and the clients to come rolling in. Yeah, no. You need to be proactive. I think we forget. I mean, even if this is a side hobby for you, it's still a business and you have to treat it as such. So therefore, you need to be proactive and not only be visible and present on different platforms, pay to plays, things like that. You're available there. These are good things, but you also need to proactively go out and connect with other businesses, other narrators, other people online via email. Get out there and go get it. Don't just sit back on your laurels and go, okay, well, how come nobody's ordering from me on this platform or this platform? Well, stop focusing on that and go out and meet new people. Go out and make new connections. Right? Don't limit yourself to just platforms. And I think we forget that. I think we forget that we do that to ourselves. Sorry, I'm a little froggy this morning. What's new, right? So we're going to talk today about some things you can do to, how do you email market? And if you're watching this, then please, share your comments and things, your strategies, your tips. If you want to share, if you want to be stingy, that's fine too. But, we're all encouraged to support and help each other. Anywho, really quick, let's do the poll and then we'll get into what email marketing is, I suppose. I think I'm losing my train of thought. So the poll, of course, is, have you tried email marketing for your VO or audiobook business? 16% of you said yes. That's actually out of 25 votes. Well, I guess that's what I expected. 24% of you said not yet, but I have a plan. And 52% of you said not yet, I don't know where to start. So good. So I'm hoping that something we talk about today will help to inspire you, maybe light a fire, get you out there, and email marketing. And then 8% of you said, what's email marketing? Email marketing, essentially, unless you're just being funny, email marketing essentially is you sending out emails to connect with businesses. You taking the helm of your business's ship and driving it off to find business yourself, and not just sitting and waiting for the business to come to you via email. So, how do we email market? Okay. So, at this stage of your career, you should have a fairly solid idea of what you would like to do, what your dream voiceover or audiobook goal is. I mean, we all kind of start there. That's usually the initial spark that, convinces us to start this journey, is like, oh my gosh, what if I could do this? What if I could be the voice of this? That is my dream. So you have a dream, you have an inspiration, you have the drive to get to a certain place. Now, you sit in front of your computer, you pull up your friend Google, and you start looking for companies that either create that kind of content. Let's just make this a little bit easier. What if we're talking about e-learning? What if you want to be an e-learning voiceover artist? And that's your dream. That's what you want to do. So you would get onto Google and start looking up companies that produce this kind of content. Excuse me. I can feel it. I can feel that frog. And you could either start listing them out if you have a notepad on your desk, which I highly recommend you do anyway, or you can build a spreadsheet, Google Sheets or something like that, to keep track of the name of the company, a suitable contact at that company that may be in charge of recruiting talent or someone to connect with, a phone number, right? An email address, a phone number, and then perhaps the date you found them. And then, did I say the website address? The website address. Just keep track of where you found them, how you found them, when you found them. And while you're there, side note, on their website, you want to see if you can get the sense of if this company has like in-house talent that they use for their voiceovers, or if they hire externally, meaning freelance voice artists, which is you and me. So if you can get an idea of which way they go, or maybe they use a mixture of both, there may even be like a, do you want to be on our roster kind of a contact form. I've found that several times on different websites where you're just kind of looking around. You go to the about section, to the contact section, meet our team, that sort of thing. Look around the website and get a sense of, do they have in-house talent or are they hiring externally? And if they are hiring externally, who do I need to get in contact with, and how do I get in contact with them? Keep track of all of that stuff in your spreadsheet, in your notepad, however you decide to keep track of these things. And then build yourself a nice little list. So this may take some time. And I know that you can go onto places like, there's going to be places where you can find lists that are already created. I don't recommend using those, because if you find somebody, let's just say on Fiverr, that sells like email marketing lists, I mean, Lord knows how many other people have that same list and have been, hitting these people on that list hard for the last couple of months. Those people are not going to be receptive to someone else hitting them up, right? So you're better off doing the work yourself, spending the time doing it. Remember, there is no easy button when you're building a business. So take the time to build that list yourself. Then find yourself like a good CRM. Like if you think, what can I never remember? MailChimp. MailChimp is a good CRM to keep track of emails and like open rate. Dang it. And all of that stuff. I don't know if it's the weather change or what it is, but anyway, sidetrack. What was the one we were just talking about not too long ago? Dang it. But a CRM essentially is a website platform that you can keep track of all of your contact lists, email templates, reminder emails. They will follow up for you in some cases. But you want to keep track of who you've emailed, when you emailed them, if they even opened that email, and if they responded, and then, when the last time was you followed up, those sort of things. Because that will help you to also see if they opened your email, what was the subject line, right? Maybe what time of day was it sent? You can get a lot of information from these CRM platforms as like sort of beta test different subject lines, maybe if an email address was wrong, it'll tell you. I think there was something else there that I wanted to mention about CRMs, but I'm sure if I'm missing something, please let me know and put it in the comments and we'll talk about it. But the point I'm making is that you're going to have to do the work yourself. Or if you have a virtual assistant, lucky you, you can have them do it for you. But most of us will probably have to do this ourselves. But it's worth the effort and time, because you could also go a step further. And when you're researching these websites and a person to contact from that company to reach out to, you could even go a step further and look them up on LinkedIn. Look them up on social media and see if you have any common interests, right? That could be the thing, hey, I see our kids are both, into soccer or something like that, right? That could be the thing that might set you apart. Again, work. It's going to take some work to do this. And then over time, the more that you do this, the bigger your email list is going to be. And then with the help of your CRM, your customer relations manager. Is that right? I think I just had a brain fart. Am I making any sense? But with the help of the website or the software that you're using to keep track of all of these emails, you will start to build and refine like good solid leads to follow up on, right? Like who's opening your emails? Is anyone responding to your emails? When's the last time you hit them up or followed up on them? That sort of thing. Customer relationship management. I think that's what, yeah. Anyway, thanks, Caesar. Clearly not enough coffee this morning yet. I guess my main point is that it's going to take work. It's going to take time, and you're going to have patience to build this list. But it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it in the end. And then also in conjunction with your email marketing, you also want to be on social media. And we talk about this a lot. I think social media, and this just might be my opinion, but I think at this point, social media is much more effective, is a much more effective way to get you in front of more people faster than any other type of marketing out there right now. And the best part is it could be free. Social media. I mean, you could pay to boost, your posts and things, but social media really just costs you time and a little bit of creativity. I mean, you could use Canva. There's a free version of that to use, and a little bit of time, a little bit of creativity to make posts about things. Or you could record yourself in little, video snippets. A little behind the scenes action about what you're currently working on. Maybe you're out walking the dogs and sharing a cool quote that you heard earlier in the day. A little bit of creativity and a little bit of time could really put you in front of a lot of great opportunities. I've seen it happen time and time again. But I think a good mix of being available on platforms, email marketing, and social media marketing, and then also getting out into your community, right? Join your chamber of commerce. Go into your mom and pop shops, the places around you. They're businesses too. They're smaller businesses, yeah, but they're still businesses, and they still may have voiceovers that need to be done. So go in there wearing your your business's shirt and, your billboard. You're a walking business card, and go visit, businesses in your community. I think all of these things together are a great way to go about marketing yourself. And I may be forgetting something, but I'm sure you guys will tell me if I'm forgetting something. That was a tangent. But I wanted to make sure that I got all of that out before I forgot and didn't finish my thought later. So now that I'm done ranting, let's get on to the comments. Oh, okay. Let's see. Coach Ariel, good morning. Here from cold, sunny Northern California. Is it cold? Dang it. It's my voice today. Cold, Northern California. Okay, so when you say cold, what's cold? Probably 30s, 40s? It's like 78 here in Phoenix. It's almost cold. Caesar says, oh, hi, Angela. I haven't done email marketing yet, but I got my social media partially situated, plus a website, and have received direct inquiries because of this. Good. Caesar says, I will likely have an email campaign going forward, likely next year. I've done that for clients, but not for myself yet. Well, good. So you already have an idea of what needs to be done. You just need to do it for yourself now. That said, hello, everyone. My rather brazen website marketing language seems to be working. Well, of course, because it's different. It's very different from just, hi, how you doing? You took a chance to be different. You stepped outside of the box. And I dig that. I think that's awesome. A best-selling author reached out to me citing she needed my sexy words for a book series. See? That's awesome. Paul says, good day, everyone. Although I've been doing VO for almost 4 years, I'm embarrassed to say that my marketing, email or otherwise, is almost non-existent. Hoping for some guidance here. Hold on, guys. I don't know. Let's see if that did it. I was trying to... Not why I'm so irritated today. Is almost non-existent. Okay, so I think to start, you should probably choose something that's going to be realistic for you, a path of marketing that's going to be realistic for you, that's doable, right? That you can honestly sit down and say to yourself, I can totally do this. Even if you have to break it down, let's just say you chose email marketing. Today, I'm going to spend an hour going through and finding companies that could use my services. And in addition to that, find companies that do what I really want to do and start building a list. And then tomorrow or the next day, you're going to spend another hour adding more to that list. And then you'll find a CRM that you want to work with, sign up for that, use that, fill out all of that stuff, like, the profile and everything. And then on Friday, you could say, okay, today's the day. I'm going to enter in all of these contacts that I've found into my CRM. I'm going to start crafting an email, right? Or you could just start emailing people directly, but I would really suggest having a way to keep track of these emails, of what's working, what's not, if you're trying different subject lines and things like that. My point is just to choose a direction and go. Break it down into smaller chunks if you have to, but don't just go, oh, this is too much. Oh, this is too intimidating. Oh, this is, excuse, reason, factor, right? This is something that your business needs you to do. You need to do this for your business. So choose a path and get out there and do it, whether it's social media, email marketing, pounding the pavement in your community, or all of them. Just pick something that is realistically doable and just start. Just start. Singer throat spray? I've heard that quite a bit. But the only thing I've recorded so far this morning is meditations, which is way down here anyway. So it's not like, now that I'm talking louder, it's, yeah. Okay, where are we at? Rustic Hillbilly, hello and good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Dwight says, good morning and great day, Angela. Hello, VO friends and family. I hope you all have a great day on your VO journey. That's a lot of VOs and VOs. Dylan says, hello all. On the road today, so I'll be lurking. Email marketing has been good to me, but you have to stay on it. Yes, you do. Morning, y'all. Thank you, Discord folks, for the feedback this weekend. I got some new demos recorded. Know how to improve those and auditions underway. You guys are great. Good. And auditioning is a way to market yourself too. I mean, if you think about it, when you're auditioning and you're sending in auditions to people, you're introducing yourself to authors, to businesses. And you never know when they hear your audition and you might not be right for the job that you auditioned for, but your voice may be suitable for something else they're working on. So they might save your audition, and then when this next project is done or ready to be, to start searching for that VO artist for it, they may go, this guy is perfect for that. He auditioned for this other thing and wasn't good for that, but I think he'll be perfect for this. Let's reach out to him. So that's a form of marketing too. Eric says, I have a Post-it note on my desk telling me to look into email marketing. Don't know where to start, so this episode is just what I needed. Good morning, all. Well, I hope what I've already said is, if you just go, yeah, okay, well, that makes sense. Maybe I was making it more complicated in my head than it actually is. There is no mystical magic to it. It's just work. It's just sitting down and going, okay, if I need to find companies to hire me, how do I find those companies? The white pages, like we used to do back in the day, or use your friend Google and find them. Research them. Go out and look for them. Or you could always have, like if you have a virtual assistant or something, have them do the work. If you can pay somebody to build a custom list for you, not a bulk list that's going to be used by several million people, but if you can hire someone to build a list specifically for you, then, and you trust this person to do it, why not? Otherwise, you got to do the work yourself. Pamela says, I'm with Dylan on the lurker mode today. Crazy day ahead. Good morning, all. But I'm at the Eric stage. We should officially call it that. I'm at the Eric stage. Dwight says, I haven't done email marketing yet. It is in my business plan for early next year. I need to fine-tune my Fiverr and Upwork marketing accounts first. Make the plan, work the plan, get organized. I don't know if I would worry so much about fine-tuning those because they take time to sort of fine-tune. You'll start to see trends on any platform that you're on. So I wouldn't leave those as a reason to not start marketing. I would start marketing, and then in between the marketing, then fine-tune other things. I wouldn't put those off Unless your schedule really doesn't allow you the time for the marketing, that's one thing. But don't allow something else to stop you if you have the time to start marketing. That's what I would say. Caesar says, make the plan, work the plan, get organ. Caesar, don't make me get the spray bottle. Donnie says, like Dylan said, you have to stay with it throughout the day, every day. I have also started marketing on social media. Hello, everyone, and keep at it. Social media. Viv Barr says, I try to send out about 200 emails per day from a database I have for radio stations. Interesting. 200 emails per day. That's insane. And that is a gold mine. If you can find a database that has been already built, like if you know somebody who has all of these connections and wants to offload or sell you their book of business, that's a gold mine, but that's, like striking gold. It's not going to be something that you just find every day. But if you have a database for these things, that's awesome. But I think for the most of us, we'll have to build this database ourselves. Or if anybody out there knows where to find databases like this, please share. My cup of tea says, so as far as email marketing goes, I'm hoping to learn more today. Got website and an email ready for VO business use. Good. And that's actually a great point. For those of you just getting started out, make sure that you have a separate email address for your business. Wherever and whenever you can, start separating your business from personal. It'll be much easier to keep track of everything for your business if you start separating it and keeping it separate in your mind at the beginning. Separate the money, separate the communications, keep everything separate because you don't want to lose track of any clients. You don't want to lose track of anything, especially when you start to snowball and you start to grow. And then you got to start paying those quarterly taxes and things. You want to make sure that everything is separate and easy to find and nothing gets lost in the commotion when you start to take off. So email address, separate email address for your business. Now versus later. Start separating everything. Jim says, I have found that I need to dial whatever number is provided to verify a working email address. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I originally went with the email address on the site and ended up with returned emails from bad addresses. Dial whatever number is provided. You mean like from a website? A phone number versus an email address? I send just 3 samples of different sources, don't want to crowd them. Emails of different types, I mean. Maybe it's just completely flying over my head, but I'm not sure what you mean. But you bring up another point. So what do you put in the email? It's all going to depend on who you're talking to. If you're talking to someone who is a casting director, I would think that they're going to be expecting people to be hitting them up for a place on the roster or a job. But if you're looking to reach out to, the manager of a marketing department, they may not be expecting as much solicitation from people for jobs. So I think it's going to depend on who you're reaching out to and what they do. But I would think as someone that was in a position for vendors or, third parties to reach out to me to solicit, for a job, I would think that if you tried to make that subject line something that was eye-catching, a little bit unconventional, something that stood out, caught my attention, it would be something I would be more apt to open. Now, if you're reaching out to someone who isn't a casting director, who isn't expecting to be solicited, then those would be the people I would probably do a little research on LinkedIn or wherever, just to see if you have any kind of common interests. And then the body of the email is, hey, I noticed that you do this for this company. It's really interesting what you guys do. I see that you also perhaps create videos for YouTube talking about your business. I mean, whatever it is that you have discovered, meaning that you've invested some time into learning more about their company, instead of just like a shotgunned email template that's all the same for everybody else. It has some investment of time and care put into it. And this may be just me. Other people might just say just shotgun out templates. But I don't know. To me, if someone took the time to learn more about me and my company and how they could better serve my needs in my company, that would mean more to me than someone just sending out a general template. That's just like, that's easy. There's no effort. There's no effort there. It would mean more to me if someone took the effort to craft something specifically for me, right? And then you could start to build a rapport, ask them, hey, perhaps what services or company do you use to create said YouTube videos or something like that? I mean, and then you could even find out another company to reach out to, I suppose, in that respect. You never know what you're going to find if you just do the research, right? But I guess I would like to see that you build some rapport with these people instead of just doing a template email with here's my website link and here's my demo, But ultimately, you do you, boo. This is your business. You do what you want to do, but that's how that would speak to me, I suppose. But anyway, I think whom you're reaching out to is going to determine how you go about the email or how you address the email itself, the email body in the email that you're sending out. Am I making any sense? I feel like I'm getting distracted. It's hot in here. Squirrel. Coach Ariel says, use email to connect with others who might need us. Ask them what they need most these days. Maybe opening a door for Convo and your offerings as well. There you go. Or just ask them. Where are you struggling the most right now with this sort of project or this sort of, whatever it is? How can I help you? Make it about your value to them instead of, I'm a voice actor. I can do this and I can do that. Make it more about them. This is how I can help you solve your problem, right? It's sort of sales 101. Make it more about how you can help them instead of how they can help you by giving you a job, right? Help them solve their problem. Yes. Paul says, my biggest problem is not how to email market, is who to mail. I'm telling you, don't let it intimidate you. If you're looking, again, just as an example, if you're looking to be an e-learning voice artist, go to Google and just start using some words that you think would be used for email or e-learning, right? Educational videos, how-to videos, medical equipment videos. I mean, just start throwing some words in there and then just go down the rabbit hole. Take notes of what words work, what words don't, where they take you, what you find. Just get started. I think you'll answer a lot of your own questions by just getting in there and discovering what you discover. Let Alice take you down the rabbit hole and be open-minded to what you see. And then you'll start to see, oh, okay, this company over here does a lot of YouTube video. Or you could just go to YouTube and start typing in random things and then just see, here's a medical equipment company that makes a lot of YouTube videos about the equipment that they use. Find out who the contact is that created the YouTube channel and reach out to them. I think we really make things more difficult than they need to be. Just start searching. Just start searching on Google, YouTube. Just do it. JCC, BCL, AOL. Happy October, Angela. Jim says, what business ever comes to you as a new beginner? I mean, you have a point there because they don't know you exist. You have to introduce yourself. You have to tell the world who you are, what you do, and how to reach out to you. And how do they know to do that if you don't make yourself available? If you don't say, hey, world, here I am, you don't exist, right? Online. Joel says, hello, all. I haven't sent any email marketing yet. Hope to get some ideas from this today. I hope some of the babble that you've heard so far is helpful. I'm hoping. Jim says, as my spreadsheet grows, I am considering using Access to lay out the info, so I won't be going to the same name twice. That's a good point, too. So I guess depending on how you're keeping track of these names, you don't want to duplicate. Although I think if you have a CRM, a customer relationship manager, that software will, if it's a good one, it'll often say, hey, this is a duplicate. Do you want to merge these two or do you want to get rid of one of these? That way you're not accidentally sending one person like 10 of the same email. That would be so embarrassing and so unprofessional looking, right? It's a good point. Donnie says, for video games, I Google indie game companies and new game companies. And yes, a notebook is 100% necessary in my opinion. Same. I like to have something here tangible on my desk that I can grab my pen and write down notes to myself whenever I need to. Maybe I'm just old school, but I introduce myself and ask if they are taking demos and leave it at that. Continued. Should I put more into my email? I think it's going to depend on who you're reaching out to. If they're expecting to be contacted based on what they do, again, like if it's a casting director, might as well just send your demo and say this is what you do and perhaps what you've done before. But if it's somebody that isn't a casting director, maybe they're like a marketing manager or something, I would like to say that you should start building a little bit of a rapport instead of just shotgunning your demo everywhere. But maybe even, I don't know, if you want to throw your demo in a couple times to a couple of emails and just see what the response is like. I mean, do some beta testing and see what works and what doesn't. Could do that. Jim says, my subject line word is samples. That's all you have as your subject line is samples? I would definitely put more than that. Coach says, and don't be discouraged if it seems like some aren't open. Some privacy settings like a Gmail block on a Gmail block you from seeing that they opened the mail. And either way, write again in a few days. Yes. That is another thing too. You want to send individual emails if you can, instead of one email with 10,000 email addresses on it, because that is a surefire way for Gmail to spam you, to spam block you, to throw your carefully crafted email into a spam folder. Also, I hear a lot that putting your website, like a hyperlinked website address, in an email will also get you thrown into the spam folder of doom. So how could you, what if you had like a custom email, an email signature that had perhaps a hyperlinked, I don't know. I have to try some new stuff, because it seems like Gmail and the different kinds of virus blockers, malware blockers, the spam settings are constantly changing. It's almost hard to keep track of everything to do and not to do, but then also at the same time to make it as easy as possible for people to connect with you or to find out more about you or to visit the places you want them to visit. So you might have to do a little bit of trial and error just to see what works and what doesn't. This isn't an exact science. There isn't really a completely right or wrong way to do it, as with everything else in this business. Try what works for you. Make sure you take notes as to what does and what doesn't work so you know what to do and what not to do. Yeah, with your notepad that you have on your desk. I do. It's full of notes. Donnie says, stop soccer, play more volleyball. Oh God, I've been babbling so long. We got to get through the comments. Coach Ariel says, and give them that call to action. That's creative. Yes. Contact me now for, sorry, Caesar, we have to steal it. Sexy words. Something like that. Something that just kind of outside the box that catches their attention. Joy says, hello everyone from sunny but chilly Southfield, Michigan. Sorry I missed the 10 minutes already, but what do I do before the CRM part? I'm sorry, but you're going to have to come back and rewatch the replay. I really want to learn this and would love to do this myself. I'm sorry, Joy, but I cannot go through all of that again. You'll have to catch the replay. I'm sorry. Jim says, a very small minority ever responds to my emails. Maybe it's time to switch up the emails and see if something else works better. Usually a 10% return on investment in any kind of marketing you do is typical. So, I mean, that's a pretty small margin, 10%. But if it's less than that, then maybe it's time to consider switching something up, making a change. Because what's the definition of insanity, right? Is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But you're doing the same thing, so you're going to get the same results. So maybe it's time to switch something up, try something new. What is it going to hurt? Joe says, this is hard, but needed. Coach Ariel says, a great tangent about ways to connect to possible people who need us. Thank you. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that my tangents are helpful. They're not just blah, blah, verbal vomit. Jim says, do you drink enough water through the day? I'm told it is good for the... Yes, so much water. So much water. Coach Ariel says, well, not Prague or Chicago cold, haha. 38 degrees. That sounds nice. Eric Grimes says, hi, Angela. I know I need to get much more active on social media. I have some ideas. I just haven't set aside a time to do it each week and devoted myself to it. And that is part of all of the goals and organization and all the other stuff that we've been leading up into. God, we've been talking about this stuff for weeks now, is to set some time aside for getting these things done, even if you have a hectic schedule. I mean, at this point in your life as an adult, you should have an idea of what kind of time you can set aside on what day at what time, you know. So take a little bit of that time and set it aside to, you know, getting some of these chunks of stuff that you need to get done. Right? It doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter how much time it takes. It's going to take the time that it takes to get this business off the ground. So don't be discouraged. I mean, even the tiniest of steps forward is still steps forward. So don't get discouraged. Just keep going. Just keep carving out little, even a half an hour of your day. If you have to take an extra hour before bed in the studio to start getting this stuff done, it'll be worth it for you. Even the smallest seeds that you plant can be harvested in the future. You just need to keep at it. Keep at it. Brittany Lynn says, I loved your website trailer, Caesar. Yes, it was very good. Jim says, do marketing until your head gets so tired you cannot continue. Well, I don't know if you'd go that far. God, Jim. Oh, yeah, the singer's throat spray. Thank you, Donnie. Tanya says, should you have a website first before starting? Yes, you should have a website at the very beginning. You have to have an online home base. You have to, because once you start marketing, you need some place for that traffic to go. You're directing traffic with marketing. If you don't have a website, where are you sending them? You have to have an online presence, an online home base. That is your website. You need a website. Absolutely. Tanya says, hubby decided to share his cold with me. Started feeling ick last night. Oh no. Rest and hydrate, vitamins, all the good stuff. Masonry Construction says, email list building. It is a continuing thing, always building, always deleting bad data. Always keep your list of VO prospects separate. Do not commingle them with your personal stuff. Yes, always keep business and personal separate as much as possible. Jim says auditioning equals making demos. No, auditioning for projects, auditioning for jobs. When you are actively auditioning for something, like on ACX, there's a book that you want to narrate, you audition for it. Tanya says feeling, can't spell today. It's okay. I know what you meant. Caesar says, thanks, Brittany. That's all. Also, another thing I did that I felt was unusual and unique. I'm glad it's working out. Brittany says to Tanya, my daughter did the same with her preschool germs. That's what they all do. The kids, they just share germs. That's what they're good at. Masonry Construction says, keeping your lists clean allows you to email them to en masse and regularly. Email marketing is all about the timing. Be consistent. Caesar says to Tanya, I would highly recommend having a website before starting with email marketing. Likely any interested party would want to check you out and see if you're legit. Absolutely. Yes, Caesar, your video gave me chills. So good. Dwight says, fine-tuning of Fiverr and Upwork take a lot of time, and I'm not working at all. I need them to work. Yes. But if they're not, I would just use that time to kind of start building slowly in several different directions instead of just one, if that makes sense. But maybe, again, that's my thinking. But everyone's got a different approach to doing things. That doesn't mean that it's wrong, right? I say that a lot. Do what you want to do. Do what feels right. Masonry says, Dwight, please do not wait to begin building an email list and sending out emails, obviously. Mellow Tone In says, yay, I finally got to catch one of your live streams. Love you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm glad you made it. Hope you brought some donuts. If you're late, you bring donuts. Jim says, my data search is to Google production companies. There you go. Tess brought the donuts. See, Tess knows. You late, you bringing donuts. Alex Jensen says, thank you, Angela, for all this good conversation. Good. I'm glad some of my babble was helpful. Jim says, when I send an email to a website, I attach 3 samples. Most websites have phone numbers and email addresses, but some of the addresses were bad, so I verify the address. And if you have a CRM, a lot of the CRMs will actually tell you if it is a valid email address or not. Some of them, they can weed that stuff out to begin with, so you won't have to waste your time. Masonry Construction says, text for your first email to your new list. Use ChatGPT. ChatGPT in for the win again. And ask for help with an introductory email to someone who might be using VOs. And ask for ChatGPT for suggestions on subject lines. There we go. ChatGPT. Wow. I use it all the time. Why was I not thinking of that? But yes, don't overlook ChatGPT. It's free to use, and there's so much you can do with it. Coach Ariel says, the personal approach of checking LinkedIn, etc. effort approach so good in the U.S., but sometimes in EU and other zones, it freaks them out. Yeah, I could see that. Yet for sure, everyone likes more personalized. Tanya says, I need to get a professional email. A professional email? You don't need a professional email. Just get a Gmail address. That's your business name. Is that what you mean? That 5 seconds. Jim says, a lot of websites won't have an email address, but they do have a box to fill out. Yep. Caesar says, can help you with that too, Tanya. I've set up my own and helped others set up theirs. Jim says, production companies, animators, website designers who might need a voice for their work. Some companies advertise as explainer video makers. There you go. Getting some great keywords. Thanks, Jim. Peak Parable says, I have started direct email marketing by first distributing in local Facebook pages and passively giving advice than offering help via participation. Once a part of the group, then you can receive rather than straight soliciting. There you go. Getting involved in your, again, Facebook groups, communities around you, online in so many different ways, shapes, forms. There's a lot more ways to connect today than there even was 10, 15 years ago. It's the ability to connect with people is just mind-blowing right now. You could reach so many people so much easier today than ever before. You just have to find the right approach, and that might take a little bit of trial and error. But get out there and start becoming part of the community. Meeting people, making connections out into the interwebs. Jim says, I can no longer read my own writing, especially when it's written fast. So everything is first save on the iPad so I can read it. I know what you mean. Tanya says, you can collect emails without using something that will collect them when people sign up for something you have, like a free guide, webinar. Yes, that is another great way to build an email address. An email list or like a client database. An email marketing list, for sure. There's a lot of different ways, but I think you'll have to be careful with what you're offering to get that email address. Like they have to be wanting information or communication from you, right? You'd be careful with what you're offering to collect their email address, because if you say I'm going to give you this free thing, but then they say, okay, great, I want this free thing. I'm going to give you my email address. And then you email them saying, hey, give me a job without that free thing. It could be, just be careful with your intentions for collecting email addresses. Peak Parable says, makes for a more professional appearance. Gregory says, hello, everyone. From a cool, far north Dallas, 75 degrees. I suffer from paralyzing fear of rejection. I have had a response from my first email to a production company in town I'm trying to push through. Yep. Next. It's just like auditioning. Next. Jim says the grind of looking up potential customers lasts 45 minutes usually. Baby steps are still good steps. Yes, Dwight says, I like your baby steps comment, Angela. I always coach my associates to inch the ball towards the goal. Move forward and build on each little accomplishment. Each step is an accomplishment. Yep. Still forward momentum, no matter how small. Nick Knack says, just finished my first book. Congratulations. So excited to be able to say it. Thanks for being a strong and inspiring female voiceover presence. Well, thank you for that. Oh, you just made my day. Dwight says, like, share, and follow. It helps Miss Angela a lot. Do it now. Now, my friends. CRM, what is that? Your customer relationship manager. The software. Jim says some companies won't accept an email not looking professional. They want it to go to a website. Yeah, there's going to be subtle differences between, again, what company you're approaching and who it is within that company that you're approaching. So you can't just shotgun an email template to a bunch of different companies expecting the same response, unless you can kind of group casting directors all in one group for a specific email, right? And then like you have categories of email, potential email recipients. Like these are all casting directors. These are all marketing managers. These are all creative directors or whatever it is. And then you have a different email crafted for each. Or if it's a very small company and there's there's like 10 people that work there and one person's in charge of, so they don't really have like a big media marketing kind of title or something. Those could get like one-off, more personalized emails, I would think. And again, I'm just telling you what I would do. You could do whatever the heck you want to. But I think it's going to depend on who you're emailing, what they do is going, that's going to determine what kind of email you're sending them. And again, I think depending on their email, so like if the person you're emailing has Gmail, sending hyperlinks or specific things like downloadable content in some cases within the body of the email will automatically put you to the spam or junk folder for a Gmail user. So, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of, again, trial and error with email marketing to see what works for who or what better. But all of this to say, there really isn't an easy way to go about this. This is work. This is something that you're going to have to invest some time into and learn a little bit more about. Or hire a virtual assistant or someone who can help, who knows what they're doing, do this for you. I mean, depending on what kind of position that you're in right now with your business. But it's going to take some work, probably a little bit of trial and error. But could pay dividends if you develop a process and you're sending out X amount of emails every day, every week, every month, right? And building that list of people and this process, again, takes time. So just be gentle with yourself, have patience. Remind yourself that you are learning something new, and this is something that's important for your business going forward, for the strength of your business going forward. This is a great practice to have. And not knowing everything about everything is not, you can't be hard on yourself for not knowing everything about everything at the very beginning. This is a process. This is something new that you're learning. So just give yourself some grace, be gentle with yourself, give yourself some, be patient. And congratulate yourself on learning something new, a new valuable skill. All right, a couple more comments and I got to go. It's a half day at school. I got to pick up the kiddo from school. Viv Bar says you can do an email merge in Outlook to make mass emailing personal. Set up a template to send out, then email merge. Look at that, Outlook. Chat with Lorna, Learning Channel. Thank you for all you do, Angela. Good to be back in the U.S. time zone to listen live. Appreciate your wisdom. I appreciate you. And then Janelle. Hey, Janelle. How you doing, Janelle? Thanks, Angela. This was great. Good. I'm glad. I feel like I did a lot of babbling because I knew I only had an hour, so I was trying to get everything out of my head that I could think of. And I'm sure there's more. But ultimately, again, what it comes down to is just give yourself some grace. Recognize this is something new but valuable. It's a valuable skill, or just hire someone else to do it, whichever way you decide to go. But email marketing is a great way to get your business out and in the public eye and in front of more people that could possibly use your services. And at the same time, don't forget to also explore social media marketing, because I think that's easier and you get more results faster with social media marketing than with any other kind. Just me. But anywho, I will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And until then, start building your email marketing lists. Let's do it. Let's do this. I'll see you guys all next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to Sheelancer Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. That's me. For more information about me, visit my website, voiceoverangela.com, or hop on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. Again, thanks for listening. Have a great day.